Welcome to the wonderful world of wine. We are your hosts, Mark Lindsay and Kim Simone, exploring all things wine with you. You can find us on Facebook at The Wonderful World of Wine. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today. Kim and I are here to talk all things wine with you. How are you, Kim?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Mark. How are you doing this week?
Everything is great, and
Wonderful.
It's holiday time, Kim.
It is. It's holidays. It's winter holiday season.
Holidays are here, and Kim and I had this idea to talk with you today about some holiday gift-giving ideas for the wine lovers in your life. And I think Kim and I have a lot of ideas as being wine geeks. First off, Kim, I'd like to wish you happy holidays and all our listeners happy holidays.
Thank you. You as well. Whatever holiday you celebrate, I hope that you're having maybe a little reduction in your stress in this crazy world and get to take some time to just sit back and appreciate family and the winter and the holidays.
We need it this year. So
we do.
Wish everybody a safe and happy holiday season, however you, like you said, Kim, however you celebrate. And one of the things, we're going to start off, of course, gift giving. You have to talk about giving wine to somebody, Kim. And what would be your tips if you want to give somebody a bottle of wine as a holiday?
So sometimes it can be a little difficult giving the wine lover in your life a bottle of wine. I know that people, because they know that wine is what I do for a living, they're very hesitant to give me wine because they think that they're going to make a mistake or give me a bottle of bad wine or cheap wine or whatever. But I just want to put people's fears aside in that the reason why those wine lovers in your life love wine is because they truly love drinking it and appreciate it. I love it when people give me bottles of wine, even if it's not, it doesn't have to be the most expensive. It doesn't have to be this like prestigious, oh my goodness, she's going to look down on me if I give her something that doesn't have 92 points or above or something like that. Most of us enjoy it because we enjoy it. We love the taste of it. We love the experience of it, all that good stuff. So don't be afraid to get the wine lover in your life a bottle of wine. You might not necessarily know what they like to drink, which I think is also a problem for people. You want to pick something that you know that they'll enjoy. So if you do want to give a gift of wine to that wine lover in your life, you really are fine as long as you stick to, I think, $20 or more. Like you really can get very decent, delicious wine starting for something that's special for a gift. Start at $20. Go from there. If that works for your budget, you don't have to spend a gajillion dollars. And then, maybe just do a little bit of sleuthing as far as what they like to drink. Ask their spouse. Look on their Facebook page. If they've posted pictures of wine and said, oh my God, I love this. Bingo. Like that's a great clue about what style of wine they might like. Do they have an Instagram account and they post pictures of wines that they've enjoyed at dinner? That kind of thing can give you a little bit of a hint of what they might like. And then if you are still going and doing in-person shopping for those people for holiday gifts, ask the people at the store. They will have an idea of what direction to send you in. So as long as you have a place to shop that has staff who knows what they're talking about, knows something about wine, and knows their collection of wines that they're selling, they should be able to point you in the right direction.
I like that advice, Kim. And I have so much to follow up on with that.
Please do.
One of the things is asked of me a lot is someone will come in saying, I'm looking for a wine gift. What do you suggest? And a lot of times I try to steer them away from what I call the everyday wines. And what I mean by that, Kim, is I feel, and I think I said this before to you, that when you give a gift, no matter what it is, and especially now with you give someone a bottle of wine, I think one of the first things they might do, unfortunately, is Google it. And if it's a common wine or a big brand wine, it's going to be found, and it's probably going to be found at a very low cost first on the internet. So I always try to tell people, don't go with the mainstream things. You can find, and you mentioned it opening up, there are some very fine wines from all over this world that are under $20, right? Very good values, very good wines. I always suggest going with something that's a little unique. Now the problem gets to be, like you were saying, if you don't know what they drink, what do you recommend? So that's kind of what I want to ask you next. Someone says to you, I want to get my friend or relative a wine for the holidays, but I don't know what they drink. What would you recommend they go with?
I mean, there's always the chance that you're going to get a bottle of wine for someone that is a style that they don't particularly like. But I think for people who appreciate wine, even if you get them their least favorite type of wine, they're still going to appreciate that you went to the effort to find them a nice bottle of wine because they know that you know that they like wine. So I feel like there are certain styles that are a little bit sort of quote unquote safer than others. Maybe don't get them something. Well, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't want to tell anybody, don't get somebody something because
are you leaning more towards not like
so much good stuff out there.
Unusual
and
variety?
So many people like so many different kinds of things.
Yeah.
No,
So
not necessarily, because some of those unusual varietals taste similar to some more common varieties. Like, so me personally, I love Sauvignon Blanc. And if you have a Sauvignon Blanc drinker in your life, there are a lot of other things out there that are very similar to Sauvignon Blanc. Like, I also love Verdejo from Spain, but there's not a heck of a lot of Verdejo from Spain out there. Not many people know about it. But just because it's an unusual variety and not a lot of people know about it doesn't mean that it's still not going to taste good to the majority of wine drinkers. But if you did want to go with something safe or on the safer side, those great varieties that are fairly familiar to people are always a good bet. Cabernets, Malbecs, Pinot Noirs, sparkling wine always, I feel, is a good gift. That's me. Some people love it. Some people hate it. But
especially this time of year, I think the sparkling is always a pretty safe gift idea because New Year's is coming up and chances are someone's popping something, even if they're not drinking it.
Right.
I think it's a great gift idea.
Yeah. And there's always, there's always the opportunity that it's nice to have something on hand that other people will enjoy. And God willing, in a few months, we'll all be able to gather again with friends and family. And it'll be nice to have a variety of wine out there. So if you do give a gift to someone and it is not their favorite bottle, chances are they're going to put that away and they're going to hold it for the next time they have people over. And they're going to pull out that special bottle and it's going to be a hit with whoever they happen to have around because, as we know, everyone has different tastes in wine. So I kind of more stick to the price point for gift giving wines than I do the particular styles. So, and like I said before, anything over that $20, $25 mark, which I think a lot of people are comfortable in that price range anyway for gift giving. I feel like you're pretty safe.
Yeah. And you were talking, Kim, checking out maybe their social media or asking some questions. And I think that leads to a whole other discussion we could talk about is it can be some sort of theme you base this wine choice on. So if you notice maybe they just came back from Italy or they just came back from, well, now probably not, but if they did a recent trip where they were in a region, maybe they explored the wines there so you can bring them back to that region with some sort of
make it personal.
Yeah.
If they're from, maybe they're from California or they're from Oregon and you want to get them a little bit of a taste of home, or they've always wanted to go to Italy and they never have. Get them something from Italy. That kind of thing. Maybe they went to Paris on their honeymoon. Oh, get them a bottle of French wine, that kind of thing. Make it personal, and that extra little bit of thought and love and creativity that goes into your gift matters more than the particular bottle you give them.
It's amazing how many themes you could build on with the wine, with so many, things in the wine world from different regions. You could do different grapes. You could do the same grape from different regions. There's so many ideas you could do and put multiple bottles building on that theme. Would be a great gift if you ask me for a wine lover.
You can give them a bottle and a cheese from the same region.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, a pasta or olive oil or, something like that makes it a more unique gift and something a little more special, but that has that theme that you're talking about.
Right. It could be a
that
pairing
all goes
theme,
together really nicely.
Pair a certain cheese with a certain wine or a certain food, appetizer, that type of thing. So, I mean, it's really, really endless. And I lean in more towards now, Kim, this is such a great gift idea for wine, not just because we want it, but it, like you were saying earlier, it can be intimidating, but if you do find a place that can help you and guide you, that is like what you were recommending, I think is a great idea. You don't want to just run in and grab the first thing, because chances are, we always talk about, it's usually some sort of big brand, and you want to just be careful. Once again, I just feel people can easily find out that value, that there's really no thought. That's kind of the way I look at it, Kim. That might not be the right thing to say, but you want to put some thought. And it's very easy to come up with something quickly when you're thinking about a wine gift. So any other tips on just the wine giving, Kim, that you can think of for our listeners?
I mean,
shopping tips or?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like I said, a little more difficult if you don't know what the person likes. If you do know what they like, then that makes it a little bit easier, and you can kind of either get them something that they know that they'll enjoy. So say you know that they like to drink, I don't know, New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. So you can be like, okay, I know they like New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. I'm going to get them a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. Or you can say, okay, I know this is the style of wine and the grape variety that they like. Get them something else that is that grape variety, but from a different place. And say you want to bump it up a price point and make it a little bit more special. Well, then get them a Sancerre from France, or get them a Sauvignon Blanc that's from northern Italy that comes from the Alps and is cooler climate and is something a little bit more special and a little bit more unique. So kind of once you know that information, you can totally play around with that. So, if you know they like to drink bubbles, get them really good Franciacorta from, again, the north of Italy. Or if you know they like red wines, get them something a little bit different from Greece or from Argentina or from some other place that maybe is a little bit more unusual, but that you know that they'll appreciate because you put a little bit of extra thought into that. You're listening to The Wonderful World of Wine. We are your hosts, Kim and Mark. You can listen to us every week on WFPR, Franklin, Massachusetts, Public Radio 102.9. You can find our past episodes on Facebook at The Wonderful World of Wine, and more information about Mark at franklinliquors.com. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to our December holiday gift giving episode guide. And we've just been talking about, if you have a wine lover in your life that you are looking to give a gift of wine to, how should you go about doing that? Because it can be a little bit difficult, especially if you don't necessarily know what they like to drink, or you don't know what you want to spend, or you just don't want to make any mistakes in giving that special person a special bottle of wine.
And I'm sure, Kim, the listeners got the hint that you want Sauvignon Blanc, right?
No, I want champagne.
Oh, okay. That too. You're not picky.
No, it really is fun. You know what? I'm not picky, and nobody gives me wine anymore.
Yeah.
It's so sad. I'm like, come on, people. I do what I do because I love this stuff. So, you
scared them away.
Like, give me a $15 bottle of Malbec. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm going to drink it, and I'm going to love it, and I'm going to be very happy. So,
well, that's a good lead. So, Kim, we talked about the wine. What else can we get the wine lovers in our life for the holidays?
So I was so excited to talk about this because there are so many cool ideas out there for the wine lover in your life. Now, usually I don't go in for a lot of like the wine tchotchkes, like just those little things that kind of clutter up your drawer, and goodness knows I've got buckets and buckets of them sitting on and in my bar that I have like nothing to do with right now. But there are some really good wine accessories out there.
Gadgets.
Some gadgets, but more than gadgets, like wine associated things.
Okay.
So some people really appreciate good.
Do you think people get nervous to buy accessories because maybe they think they already have them? Or is there things you recommend that definitely they probably don't have to get someone?
Yeah, I kind of went beyond just get them a good corkscrew or stemless wine glasses, or like there were a lot of things like, monogrammed wine glasses for the wine lover in your life. I'm like, most people probably have enough glasses, like glassware, maybe not right now.
Wine charms always seem to something.
Wine charms, a lot of wine charms out there.
So what's your idea, Kim?
So there are a number of websites that you can get sort of unusual stuff at. And one really great place to find those kinds of things is a website called Uncommon Goods. They're at uncommongoods.com. And I found a lot of really like cool wine related stuff on there. So something like wine infused salts that are all in different colors. And, one is infused with Malbec and another one is infused with Chardonnay, and they add a little bit of pizzazz to your cooking, and they're kind of, they're really crunchy and they're very colorful, like something like that. Or, I was thinking that because so many of us are socially distancing and doing a lot more outdoors, that there's the opportunity for something like, there's a wine table that has like a spike on the bottom that you drive it into your yard, and it's just big enough to hold a couple of glasses and a couple of plates. So if you're sitting out by your fire pit with your family or with your friends socially distanced this winter, that's the kind of thing that, you could have a couple of those, and then everyone gets to be far enough away from each other, but still have the opportunity to have their glass of wine and their little treat. So things like that. And I found some really excellent stuff on their website.
Good suggestions. And like the Wine Enthusiast website also has a lot of craft things like that make good gift ideas. You're running low on time now, but these are all great holiday gift ideas, Kim. I like you said, the gadgets. I think over the years, we talk about a lot of the gadgets out there, the aerators, you were saying the glasses. There are other things, and you mentioned a lot of them, which gives our listeners a lot of good ideas. What about anything else as far as an accessory or gadget you think have you seen any like go-to things trending?
As far as trending, I think a lot of people are interested in things that will keep your bottle of white wine cold if you don't want to necessarily run in and out of the house if you're doing something outside. So like I have it's like a marble wine holder. It holds the entire bottle. You don't pour it in there. You just stick the bottle right in it and you keep it in your freezer. And then when you're ready to use it, you take it out of the freezer and you put your bottle of white wine in there. And it keeps the bottle very cold. Lots and lots of restaurants use these. And I saw this trending on a number of websites, whether you get it from someplace simple like Crate and Barrel or, someplace a little more shishi or even not crazy expensive. Like I said, I love the one that I have. And then there are, little stocking stuffer ideas. One that I saw trending a lot, which is actually a product that I use at home, is a red wine stain remover spritz stuff. It's called Chateau Spill. It's got a little, like the label looks like a Bordeaux label, but it's great for getting rid of red wine spills. It has come in very handy at family weddings when people have spilled wine on their good clothes. Let's see, what else? There are these things called corksicles. Have you ever seen these that you keep in the freezer and then you put in your bottle of white wine? It chills the wine down.
Yep.
Love those things. And these are items that are not crazy expensive. They're incredibly useful. Just put them in a little gift bag or stick them in someone's stocking.
There's a lot of gadgets.
More expensive ones too.
Yeah. A lot of
but
gadgets.
As far as like something that's very simple and even something that you can just attach to a bottle of wine or stick in the wine bag if you're giving a bottle and you want to do a bottle and something else and you don't want it to be those wine charms. Something like that is, I find incredibly useful.
There's a lot of stuff out there. A lot of the things I saw are more expensive, like Coravins have been popular and these fancy aerators that are electronic aerators.
And I didn't want to go that direction because I kind of feel like those things are, yes, they're fancy and they're pricey, but how often do you use them? I mean, I know that you stand by your Coravin and that you really like it. And I think in certain situations, that's the kind of gift and the kind of item that a certain type of person absolutely gets a whole lot out of. Like if I had a lot more interesting things in my cellar and I was really into seeing how they were aging and writing that down and like really being on top of that, I would totally be on board with having something like that. But I think that goes for and to a very specific type of wine drinker. And I'm just not that wine drinker.
Yeah.
But there are people out there who are. So if you know some of those folks, then that would be a great gift for them.
It seems like all the gadgets over the years I've received or I bought, they just use for a little bit and then they just kind of store up. But
yeah,
there's a lot of stuff out there, like you said, Kim. And I was also thinking, well, two other things I was thinking for holiday gift ideas, like your feedback on. And the first one is books and reading material.
Mm-hmm.
So I think people don't have to be geeky about wine. There are so many books every year released about wine history, about wine education that can draw something, or you can even pair it with a wine related to the book. But what do you think about buying a wine themed book?
Oh, I think it's a great idea. Especially as we're spending a little bit more time at home. I think a lot of us have more time on our hands to do some reading, as we're not spending 2 hours commuting every single day. We have a little bit more time on our hands. I think wine books are a great way to go. I especially like books about either particular wineries or particular wine personalities. There's a great biography of Robert Mondavi that came out a number of years ago that was absolutely fascinating about his life and his, sort of his legacy, and then how his company, his family business kind of went down the tubes after he got a little bit older and passed away. And fascinating stuff on the history of California winemaking. And even though, it kind of reads like a soap opera, like very interesting. There's always something going on. So books like that are well written and are about wine, but are really more about the human experience. So I think that there are a lot of books like that out there.
Well, I'm glad we agree on that. I think they make great holiday gift ideas. Now, the other thing I had in mind, Kim, was also in the past, I would say get someone a tasting, but now I'm thinking you could also do something more with some education. There's so much online education out there. You could purchase someone for a gift. In years past, I would say buy them or look at a unique tasting idea. But with everything going on, that's kind of gone to the wayside. But what do you think about some sort of educational gift?
Yeah, there's a lot of online education. We've talked about them in previous shows about ways that it could be just a one-off thing at a particular winery having a tasting, and then they will send you bottles or they'll send you samples, and you can learn about those particular wines from that particular winery. Or it could be an entire course. It could be learn about Italian wine, learn about French wine, learn about California wine. There are a lot of opportunities out there right now for wine education. And I would say pick a particular style that you like, or part of the world you want to learn about, or something that you feel like you don't know a whole lot about, or that maybe this is for your spouse, maybe this is for your adult child that that they like about and want to learn a little bit more. I think that would make a great gift.
So now, Kim, at the holiday time, do you ask for like wine gifts? Is that like a common thing on your list?
I do sometimes.
Yeah,
I do sometimes.
Yeah.
So like a few years ago, my brother got me a few books that I was looking for that I really wanted to have. There, a number of years ago, my husband got me my Nez du Vent, so the smell kit that teaches you about what all the individual smells are about. So I do end up getting wine gifts. But I think for this year too, with a lot of interest in doing things at home for people, that is not just about wine. So I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent and say that you can incorporate cocktails in there too. And there are a lot of places that are doing like great at-home cocktail mixology classes and products. So I just wanted to give a little shout out for my favorite, which is in Portland, Maine, Venus Fizz House. They do a lot of like mocktail things, but they also have some incredible things that they'll send you, like the fixings for particular cocktails, and then you go out locally and get the actual alcohol, because they can't actually ship the booze from Maine to wherever you are. So that's a fun thing too for a gift. So it's not necessarily wine related, but they do have things for like mulled wine and sangrias and those kinds of things too. So it's still in the same vein. So if you have more cocktail lovers on your list instead of wine lovers, I find that is something that is great quality and really makes a fantastic gift.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned it, because it brings up a point. I think we should say they can also, our listeners can find the local wineries and support local business by one of the themes could be a local wine.
Local wines.
And that's it all year long. I get that people ask, is there something local, crafty that's around that they can support and give as a gift? So that is also a great gift idea, I believe.
There's one more thing, and I heard this idea on NPR a couple of weeks ago as a way to sort of continue to support our restaurant brothers and sisters, if there are restaurants that are still open for outdoor dining in the cooler months, or as we get into kind of the early spring months, that they had suggested that people keep a bag or a box of necessities for outdoor dining with them, like a blanket and hand warmers and a scarf and, reusable flatware and like hand sanitizer and wet wipes and things like that. And I thought that was a really clever idea to put together for someone. If you know that you have restaurant folks that are in your gift giving circle, and you know that they like to go out to restaurants, and maybe they've continued to go and do outdoor dining through the whole pandemic, that would be, if you're very creative and you want to put together that kind of a gift, a gift with a blanket and hand warmers and an extra scarf and things like that would help them be a little bit more comfortable when they go and continue their outdoor dining. And then that helps us support our local restaurant folks as well.
Good idea. And they need the support. And you can also do a beverage takeout. So if someone goes to a certain restaurant and they like something on the wine list, you can approach that restaurant and ask them if you can buy a bottle to go, because you probably can't get that in retail for a holiday gift idea. So you can get it right from the restaurant as a gift idea. And it helps the restaurant industry as well.
Right. And we really do need to support our local businesses, especially those ones that we want to still be around after the pandemic. And it's been very, very hard on local restaurants, especially those places that aren't doing a lot of carry out or takeout. And as we get into the colder months, it's a lot harder for those folks to keep their businesses afloat. So we really want to do our best to support all of our local businesses through this very difficult time.
Well, there's a lot of wine, and there's a lot of wine gift ideas out there in the world. And I hope today Kim and I gave you some ideas. And Kim, I want to wish you again happy holidays, and to all our listeners, happy holidays. We've enjoyed another year of talking here, wine, and I hope some of the information we gave today is helpful to you. If not, you do know you can send Kim a bottle of sparkling wine to enjoy it. We know that much, right? So again,
I'm easy to buy for.
That's it. A lot of people are not, but wine will make them happy. That's what we kind of want to get through to you today.
That's
that
right.
Wine does make a good gift. So enjoy the holidays, and Kim, enjoy your holiday.
Thank you, Mark. Happy holidays, everyone, and Merry Christmas, Mark. Thank you for listening to us today on The Wonderful World of Wine. We have been your hosts, Kim Simone and Mark Lindsay. You can find us on Facebook at The Wonderful World of Wine. We welcome your questions and comments, and you can find past episodes of our show on SoundCloud or iTunes. Cheers.